Thanks for joining us again. This is Marking Out in the Morning. I'm the Audacity. So let's just get right into it, really. Brandon is going to be calling in a little bit to join us today. One of the more regular co-hosts, and hopefully it works out better than yesterday when there was a ton of technical difficulty. I'm going to get right into what happened on SmackDown last night. So if you have not watched SmackDown and you want to watch SmackDown but you don't want to know what happened on SmackDown, then now would be a time to turn away. But first, check out this sound effect to remind you of the spoiler alert. Alright, so last night, Friday Night SmackDown aired, and we opened the show with Sheamus and Seth Rollins just giving a confrontational promo to hype their match tonight against Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. Sasha Banks and Naomi defeat Paige and Becky Lynch in the first match of the night when Naomi rolls up Paige in a small package. The Cosmic Wasteland, that being Cody Rhodes and The Ascension, gave a weird backstage promo as usual. I assume it was about their kickoff show, but I couldn't really follow. Kofi Kingston pinned Devon in their singles match as the New Day table-related antics outside the ring distracted both of the Dudley Boys and allowed the quick pin. Cesaro must have pissed somebody off backstage because he jobbed at the Big Show last night, who is not even a relevant person. Ryback ran out to save Dolph Ziggler in the middle of his match versus Kevin Owens before Kevin Owens could throw him back first into the ring apron corner. No contest. Makes Dolph Ziggler look like a little bitch, unfortunately. No one showed up for the celebration that they threw. PCB and Nikki arrived a few minutes late. PCB arrived a few minutes late to mock Nikki. After they left, she threw some cake at Brie and Alicia. Alicia is my roommate. In the main event, we had Sheamus and Seth Rollins on the same team. Sheamus abandoned him in the middle of the match, and Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns got the win. That's all that happened. That's SmackDown last night. I don't even know if anyone watches SmackDown anymore because it's friggin' SmackDown. WWE doesn't treat it like it matters, so why should we treat it like it matters? There was so much potential last night for it to be a pretty decent show. I mean, Ziggler, Kevin Owens, why would you in that in no contest? Gosh, you should get Ryback involved. I pray that Kevin Owens wins so that Ryback is no longer on TV in an important way. I don't care about Ryback at all. But, whatever. Cesaro, again, jobbing in the Big Show. I don't know what that's about. Cesaro, I'm glad he was on TV. You had 4 of the best divas. You had Becky Lynch, Paige, Sasha, and Naomi. That's a good match. I don't know why you don't care more about SmackDown, WWE, but that's just me being a butthole. And so, like I said, we have some news to go over today, real quick, just to let you know what is coming up. We're going to talk a little bit more about who could be the third member of the Shield. We're going to talk about a DVD. Hey, Cayton_Bill, Cayton_Bill, had a great idea. This I had not thought of. I had thought of similar things, but an NXT takeover of SmackDown. That I like. I don't know how the story plays out with, wait, do you mean just the pay-per-view takeover? No, that wouldn't make sense. You mean like having NXT takeover SmackDown. Yeah, that would make more sense in an older era, but when their brand split was more of a real thing and they had separate general managers and everything. But I would not mind seeing NXT doing something like that, especially right at the time when the show goes to USA. I could see something like that. That could be good. And maybe have the guys from NXT feud with the guys on SmackDown who aren't getting much of a shot. Give them reason to take it. Thanks for chiming in. See, this is why Periscope exists, guys. This is why podcasters have Periscope open. So then I can claim on my show we talked about that first. It wasn't even my idea. I just read something someone else said, but we're talking about it on my show. And when it happens in real life, we'll know that someone from WWE Creative listens to Marking Out in the Morning and respects at Caton_Bill's opinion. So that's that, man. I am so distracted on the left by Survivor Series 87. Let me show you guys that real quick. This is a setup for, if you remember the very first Survivor Series, there was a 10-on-10 match, 5 tag teams versus 5 tag teams. You got Demolition, you got the Haku teaming up with I don't know who in some sort of Samoan team. Oh man, that was a good one. That first Survivor Series is a good Survivor Series. Anyway, we're gonna have a bunch of news to cover tonight. This morning, I don't know what my problem is. But while I'm waiting for my friend Brandon to call in, I want to talk to you guys about another podcast that is near and dear to my heart and to HEELZiggler.com's heart. It's an extension of the Spanish Announce Table podcast called Tweet the Table. And what that is, the Spanish Announce Table is just a phenomenal podcast. I also suggest checking that out. You might accidentally find one based out of Canada, which I also recommend that one. It's a good one. But the one I am more familiar with is the one based out of America. That's the one I contribute to a little bit, the one whatever. But Tweet the Table is, I'll let them explain it in this promo I'm about to play. It's going to be 5 minutes real quick. This is, again, other than my own show, which I will always tell everyone is my favorite podcast in the world, this is my second favorite wrestling podcast. And it's one who has quality in many ways that I hope to aspire to someday. So I'm going to take a break from talking. I'm going to reset the Periscope while this is going on. But I'm going to get ready to play the sneak peek again of this is going to be episode 24. It's a podcast exclusive to the HEELZiggler.com and everything we do here. We're going to talk a little bit later about an Owen Hart article that one of the writers at HEELZiggler.com wrote. So we're going to talk about a bunch of Owen Hart memories and favorites and stuff I've talked to some people about. Here's some pre-recorded comments from us about that. So right now, like I said, we're going to go ahead. We're going to play a clip from, again, my second favorite, other than this, wrestling podcast that is out there. Tweet the Table, episode 24, will come out later tonight or tomorrow, depending on when Blog Talk Radio lets me take care of that. I'm going to shut up now and play that. All right, Periscope, if anyone's still watching, I'm going to go reset this stuff. Well, later. Hey, YouTube, I didn't forget about you. I'm going to stop this. We'll be back later. All right, Brandon is joining us today. How you doing today, Brandon? Not too bad. It's Friday, so that's always good news. We got a pay-per-view coming up on Sunday I'm excited about. I didn't realize, but there's an ROH pay-per-view tonight, so maybe if I surprisingly don't have other plans with tons of ladies, then maybe I'll turn on some ROH tonight, since I don't follow that at all, and I probably should. I mean, if I'm being honest, I'll just try to steal it somewhere. I'm not going to pay for it, but, you know. Sorry, ROH, I know you need the money. Unless their pay-per-views are really cheap, then maybe I would pay for it. But I don't have any idea about that. So, anyway, that's... Yeah, I can't imagine it costs too much. But, yeah, well, let's go ahead. Did you watch SmackDown at all yet? Or do you even care about SmackDown? Yeah. They had so many good potential matches this week that, like, just turned out to be garbage. Yeah, I mean, you have Ziggler Owens, and that's ruined by Ryback. And then, spoilers, guys, sorry. In case you, whatever. Yeah, and then you had that one match, actually, the Divas tag match was probably the best match overall. I don't know, whatever. It was a decent card, actually. But like WWE doesn't even try to make people care about it. Like when I do my 5-point preview for SmackDown, like I get on there Thursday morning on their website, and the SmackDown's not even mentioned. I have to like dig to find them promoting SmackDown, and it's like the only show they have going on that night. I don't understand at all. Whatever, that's not important. Let's go ahead and get to the headlines. Yeah, there's so many rumors going around, obviously, and clearly all internet rumors are almost always baseless, especially wrestling internet rumors. But yeah, I mean, it is possible. And welcome to the Periscope 54326. Enjoy your breakfast and your SmackDown, but don't get your hopes up. Set your expectations low, and you'll be really happy with SmackDown. But yeah, so new rumors. Obviously, someone came up with the idea that maybe The Rock will come help save his cousin. It would make a little bit of sense since his other cousin did get beat up by the Wyatts recently, and the Night of Champions seems like not a marquee enough of event for The Rock to make a surprise comeback. Although he came back for a house show. So it's not the most bizarre thing. Chris Jericho seems a lot more likely than The Rock, but wouldn't really do much. I don't think that would do much for anybody, really. I guess he does have a past with the Wyatts, but I don't know, man. There's the idea of Eric Rowan, but people say he's not fit to return physically. There's Bo Dallas, but that doesn't make any sense that they would choose Bo Dallas. I mean, I want it to be Cesaro. For the sake of the quality of the match, I want it to be Cesaro. And they have not even entertained that idea, which makes you think, if they want to make a big surprise, it could be Cesaro. But I don't know. What are you thinking about that match? Survivor Series 87. Pretty amazing. Bret Hart's on the ring right now. Yeah. I'm a big fan of them putting out a Dudley Boys DVD. You gotta believe all of the TLC matches with the Hardys and Edge and Christian will be on there. I've never really listened. I've never really heard the Dudley Boys talk about. Really, I've never listened to them talk about anything as far as I can think of. So it'd be interesting to get their perspective on how that developed. And then, oh man, especially. I would hope what that means is there's going to be another TLC match. Like, people have been saying that they're going to build to a TLC match against the Hardys at WrestleMania, which would make sense for them to have that DVD ready for WrestleMania if they have that other match to kind of promote with it. So, yeah, absolutely, I'm watching Night of Champions. Absolutely. We're doing a post-show, a trivia challenge, so you should tune in for that. I got my mute button. He's talking, but I'm talking to you. And you, YouTube. Yeah, see, I don't know if the Hardys and Dudleys together, if they, at this point in their career, could put something on that would be a fitting, whatever this would be, number 4. But I think if you put in a team like New Day with like Kofi and Big E, or you could put in someone like the Lucha Dragons if they were still a relevant tag team just for the spots they could do. Or, depending on who's hot and what kind of stories they have going on, even like Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns would be fun to watch in a match like that. You'd have to be careful about it spoiling, I guess, kind of the legacy of that feud and that of like the TLC match in general. So yeah, but it'll be interesting. Yeah, I would love Blue Meanie. YouTube, this makes even less sense to you because you can't see the Periscope comments. So sorry. Yeah, definitely. It's hopefully it doesn't. Yeah, I agree with saying the timing is bad because they're both. You don't want to ruin either one of them. And the New Day is so hot right now too. So. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. Definitely, yeah, absolutely. All right. Yeah, I do. So for the ROH pay-per-view, the All-Star Extravaganza 7, we got not eerily. I asked kind of somewhere else if this seemed too coincidental that World Champion Jay Lethal defends against Kyle O'Reilly for the world title. And TV champion Jay Lethal defends his mid-card TV title against Bobby Fish in the same show. So that's an interesting parallel to what's happening with Seth Rollins right now. Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian versus Matt Tavern and Michael Bennett versus the Young Bucks for the ROH tag titles. Michael Elgin versus Adam Cole versus AJ Styles versus Roderick Strong for the number 1 contenders spot for the world title. The Briscoes face off against the mystery team. I don't know if that's like an open an open challenge or if that's just being billed as a mystery team for some other reason. ACH versus Matt Seidel in their third match of their best of 5 series. That would be a good one to tune into for just for that specific one. Cedric Alexander versus Moose, and Dalton Castle versus Silas Young. So I know nothing about hardly any of those wrestlers. I hear a lot about Jay Lethal, probably because he's a double champion in ROH right now. Obviously, you can't be on the internet and not have heard of, the Briscoes and Christopher Daniels and AJ Styles and whatnot. What does anything on that especially appeal to you if you were going to watch it? Same to you guys. Anything about that card sound good to you? Yeah, that might probably, if he doesn't ever get out of ROH, that might be the biggest wrestling accomplishment he will ever have. I mean, that's kind of a tough, if you had to choose between being with AJ and being the ROH champion, that's like a legitimate would you rather question, I feel like. I'm considering watching it tonight, maybe. I guess we'll see. I should try to at least catch some of it, but, yeah. That all should be good. Hopefully I get a good chance to check out that pay-per-view. Let's see. So they were in Houston as part of, I don't know if this is the first, but they have that big Texas tour coming up. And the person who reported this described the venue as looking like a dingy 70s smoky arena that you hear so much about. So Enzo and Cass opened up against Gable and Jordan. And I don't know if that match was part of the tournament or not. I could definitely see that. I don't know if they're set to face off against each other, but those teams are both in the tournament still. So Enzo and Cass get the win there. Ty Dillinger versus Bull Dempsey was described as a comedy match, which both those guys are entertaining, at least as much as they're good wrestlers. And apparently Bull Dempsey gets the win with the butt splash. Solomon Crow versus Apollo Crews, which we just saw last week, ended the same as TV with Crews getting the win after a standing moonsault. Baron Corbin versus Samoa Joe ended with Corbin passing out after getting locked into a Samoa Joe choke. Carmella put over Dana Brooke. The tag champions retain versus Blake and Murphy. Emma puts over Bailey. And in the main event, Tyler Breeze versus Finn Balor. Finn gets the stomp from the top rope to retain his title in what was apparently billed as a title match. So, I don't know, nothing real surprising there as far as, what they're doing. If I should have researched more if that is part of the tag tournament. Assuming that is, how do you feel about Enzo and Cass going over Jordan and Gable? Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, they do have a really good finisher, which I've been really bummed out about a lot of finishers some of the new people have in WWE and NXT these days. So I was very pleased with that. So I'm looking at the bracket. I'm looking at the brackets for the tournament, and that must not have been part of the tournament because Enzo and Cass are scheduled to face Finn Balor and Samoa Joe, and then. Who is the other ones? Jason Jordan and Chad Gable are set to face. I assume the Hyper Bros won their match against Marcus Louise and Alexander Wolf. So that was just a fun little tag match for kicks and giggles. Yeah, it should be. It should be good. And let's see. And I was gonna say, I'm interested to see who they put over between Enzo and Cass when they go up against Finn Balor and Joe. Because that's basically the hottest tag team versus arguably the two hottest single wrestlers in NXT right now. So yeah, that could be good. Yeah, for sure. It'll be interesting to find. Yeah, I'm actually really interested to find out who wins that tournament and how much, if anything, it does for their career. Yeah, for sure. There could be any number. There's still a lot of teams who would be a lot of teams left who would be a surprise if they won, and WWE. Sometimes they let really weird people win tournaments when it doesn't seem like they really should. So, anyway. Yeah, it does, especially for someone who's supposed to be as big as TNA. But I was reading on the site where I got that at WrestleZone, and a lot of the commenters said that actually seemed like a pretty good number for TNA, especially for like a non-televised event. But 500 does, if you're supposed to be the second biggest promotion in the country, 500 is not good. And I feel like ROH hits those numbers like almost all their shows. I think I want to say their lower shows usually are like around 700 or 800. I think. Right. Exactly. So, probably just more whatever. There's nothing good. Yeah. But it doesn't. Things just continue to not really look that good for TNA. They don't have anything lined up after the end of this year. There's a lot of wrestlers just being done with them. Kurt Angle's done at the end of the year. You got to believe Jeff Hardy is going to make a return to WWE soon. They don't have TV deals. They just, I don't know. I don't see why they should just, if it's not already the plan for them to just turn into GFW, they might as well just go ahead and do that. Yeah, that sounds about right. And I guess if whatever, if it ends up being good for, if GFW becomes a better product than TNA was, then I guess it all works out for the best for the industry or whatever, right? Yeah, I agree. They I know they have a deal in France, so at least one country. But yeah, obviously for long-term success, they're going to need more than that. But I mean, that's a pretty decent start considering they don't have anything really even going other than that tour and minor league baseball field. So it's a sign. And Jeff Jarrett seems really positive that he is gonna get a TV deal here in America. So all the best to him in his pursuit of competing with Vince McMahon. Yeah, definitely. Oh, really? I haven't really watched much of Lucha Underground at all. Oh, really? That would be really interesting. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I mean, I've heard good things. You just get it online, I assume, right? Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I have DirecTV, so I assume that's probably there, I guess. I don't know. I don't get Destination America, so, but I don't know if that's way less popular than. All right. That probably sounds true. I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot with this, so I'll get some other responses and stuff real quick before. But as far as Owen Hart, he has that DVD coming out pretty soon. My friend Andrew just wrote his article for top 5 Owen Hart matches of all time. And we spent some time just kind of talking Owen Hart in general. If you have something right off the top of your head, that's great. If not, I'll give you a second. But do you have anything that comes to mind as your favorite Owen Hart match of all time, or favorite just moment or anything like that? Yeah, for sure. Well, I'll go over a few other ones that other people talked about. I know she was on Periscope earlier. I don't know if she still is, but at Bella's Natty Forever, she also said immediately the cage match from SummerSlam '94, and just asking kind of too. I was asking other people too, just about like what era, or like not era, like what kind of, I guess, like what period of his career did they like best for Owen Hart? When did he kind of peak? And at ChaseM262 was saying he liked Owen, or he said he thought Owen was best during like when he did his part with the Hart Foundation, and then again with the Nation of Domination. And that was my I like really liked him as part of the Nation of Domination. I thought he like really added to that, especially really added to the feud with DX, and just being kind of and that was even kind of maybe one of the early examples of them sort of taking like the real life frustrations of a wrestler, because he was kind of always saying like people look I get overlooked and all this stuff, but I'm sure that was an actual complaint for him too, because he was like one of the best workers in the business and he was still getting no real recognition for it. So maybe like an early version of CM Punk a little bit there. Yeah, yeah, that's absolutely true. Yeah, I think for me too, like I wasn't really watching like when he was feuding with like Austin and when he was doing like when that version of the Hart Foundation was around. So I actually that's one era of WWE I wish they would put more like Raw and stuff on the network because that's the era I really want to watch, like right before Austin was like the biggest thing in the company. But I have a feeling Owen Hart was really awesome then, especially if he made an "I Broke Your Neck" T-shirt. I feel like I would have really, really liked him back then. But then I just loved him, yeah, in the Nation of Domination. I just thought he made that feud so much better. And they didn't really have on the Nation of Domination. There wasn't really anyone who wrestled like Owen, or was even really that great of a technical wrestler, really. So he also added that to their, to that stable too. So. Oh yeah, I never even thought about that. Yeah. So. Oh really? Oh, nice. When I looked, I must not have checked recently. So, right on. Well, oh no, good. Oh, they don't. That's idiotic. All right. Well, all right. Well, we are hitting the 10 o'clock point, and especially on a Friday, that seems like a good time to be done for the day. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll play the pre-recorded conversation I had with my friend Andrew about Owen Hart. He has the article coming out at HEELZiggler.com about that. And then the show will be pretty much over. Any last thoughts before we hang it up for the day? Nice. Do you know yet who your opponent's gonna be? Right on, right on. And if they want to, yeah, go ahead. Right on. That sounds like worth showing up just for that. If they want to, if anyone listening wants to follow you or 3XW, how can they do that? Nice. All right. Well, we'll go ahead. We'll start that Owen Hart mush talk that me and Andrew and Seth were getting into. Thanks for co-hosting with me today, Brandon. Good luck at your match tomorrow, and we'll talk to you again soon. All right, and as I promised, here is the conversation I had with Andrew about Owen Hart and his best matches. So he has an article coming out at HEELZiggler.com. So check that out tomorrow. Here is myself and Andrew. Hey, what's up, Periscope? I just finished my podcast, actually, playing a recording of some reminiscing about Owen Hart right now. I'm gonna get the YouTube. I just started deciding if I'm gonna record myself doing Periscope, why not just also record it and start a YouTube channel. So if you guys love YouTube, then you can get basically everything you're seeing on Periscope. You just also get it on YouTube with all the boring parts cut out where I'm not saying anything at all. But I more recommend just subscribing to the podcast and listening, or just listening to the podcast live. Maybe turn Blog Talk Radio on so you can hear both sides, and then just watch this. That seems like okay, whatever. But yeah, that's what's going on right now. So if anyone out there has any last questions or anything, throw them out. Otherwise, we're gonna stop the broadcast because my phone may have just stopped it anyway because it's a terrible phone. Oh, I guess it didn't stop it yet. Maybe? Wow, this is lagging so bad for me. I'll let it go for a few more minutes in case anyone... Oh, nope. Okay.